How to lead effectively in a remote working environment. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to some of you, whoever's checking in today. Let me know if you're checking in. If you're live, put live into the chat. If you're checking in on a replay, put a replay into the chat as well. But thank you so much for being here today. I'm Dr. Michael Lee, and I'm here to serve every one of you in this very frequently asked question, because this all happened because of COVID. Ever since we had COVID, and I guess I'll ask you, how many of you actually remember COVID, right? And that everything was locked down? Because due to that, just because of one virus, or you could say a response from the governments and the world, it then created the new way of working, which was classed as remote working. And of course, what's really interesting is, although we are now living in COVID, or living with COVID rather, because we don't know if it's completely disappeared or if it even existed, or even it's still around and it's just as bad as flu or whatever it may be. I can tell you now, even if we don't know if that's happening, we do know that remote working is actually here to stay. Because that's one thing that's carried over from the COVID periods to now, today. And it's like everyone's kind of become comfortable about remote working because, of course, why wouldn't they? They are living in the comfort of their own home. They don't need to, travel to work. They need to drive, get a train. They're going to be saving fuel and saving time. They're going to be feeling so tired. They can take frequent breaks at home. So why wouldn't they love remote work? But the thing is that you're probably thinking is, but as a business owner, I know that's where the times have changed to. So how do I manage that? Because I have to be very honest here. That yes, we used to have lots and lots of, we call them in-house, like in the business, working in the offices. But now they're all working remotely. And how have we actually adjusted to this? A lot of people ask. Because not only they worry about how can we track them? How do we know they're actually working? How do we know that they're actually productive? How do we know that they're even doing what they say they're meant to be doing? And I'm going to be very honest with you. As a business owner, you don't. And that's actually the fact. But although this is a topic in terms of how do we manage teams like this, there's actually bigger problems if you can't trust your team. There are bigger underlying factors. And this is why every single week we have team meetings to make sure that everyone's aligned, everyone's agreed, everyone is open, everyone is honest. How many of you agree that honesty is probably the most important character or even value in a business? If you think agree, put agree in the chat, because that's number one in ours. I'm very strict with honesty, and I say this to all of my team. If you're not honest with me, you don't get a second chance. You're out. Because it means that if you can't be honest with me, you can't be honest with yourself. And why do I need team members that are liars? Why do I need team members that want to make excuses? Why do I need team members? Because, by the way, the team members that make excuses, by the way, they don't want growth. They're the ones that are selfish, that just want things for themselves. They don't care about them growing, they don't care about other people growing, they don't even care if the business even grows or not. They don't even care about helping other people, just think about themselves. Do you really want that type of team member? Probably not. That's why I say they have one chance, and one chance only. Because as soon as the honesty is abused, it's never regained. And I say, right, this isn't the place for you. You need to find a place that actually that will serve you well, and the place that will probably serve you well is the place where other people lie as well. But that's not here. Because honesty, you need to have that clarity and honesty with all of your team members to say, look, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to do it. Now, can you fulfill it in this set period of time or by this deadline? And although I've actually used exactly the same system for those that were working in the offices to now remotely, it's worked. The reason why it's worked, because I've always had integrity and I've had honesty, and I'm really blessed that my team respect me as a leader. They respect me in terms of what my mission is, in terms of how I can help more people. But also, I respect them because I want them to grow. And all my team members, they always say to me, Michael, why are you so passionate about me growing? I'm like, yeah, because I know when you grow, more people in my mission are helped. That's why I'm so passionate to see you grow, to see you succeed, whether it's in your wealth, your health, or your relationships, in all of these areas. That's why everyone that I include in my team, I always remind them they're very blessed, because sometimes I want their success more than they want it. And I want to make sure that they win. But they have to still take the actions in terms of everything that I give them to do. Because I just paved the entire way. This is what I did my entire life. Now just go and follow. But I just need action takers. That's what I would say to my team. Be honest and take action. If you don't understand something, you're not stupid. Just say I don't understand it, because that's why I'm here, to help you. I'm not here to spoon feed you, but I'm here to help you learn. But that's why. Have you heard this famous saying that if you see a family that's hungry, you could give them a fish, or you could teach them how to fish. And that's what I do with my team. I teach them how to fish, and that's why they see value in being part of my team. That actually I'm getting all these lessons that I would never get anywhere else. But more importantly, they'd have to pay lots of money for. But because they're in my environment and I know they're here to support my mission, I'm here to support them too. Because I'm going to be very real with you. I know a lot of business owners, and they're really strict on remote workers. They install software on the remote workers' computers. They make sure that there are certain key presses per second. They make sure that the camera is on, that they don't leave their computer. But the thing is, I'm not that strict. Why am I not that strict? Because I'm not the prison officer. I'm not the one that says, actually, you must do as I say, right? The reason why is people don't like being told what to do unless actually they understand. They have to choose that they want to do it because they understand it's going to benefit them. And this is why I actually get an agreement with them. Here are your tasks. Do you know what you're doing? If you have any questions, ask me by Tuesday. If there are no questions by Tuesday, you must deliver by Friday. Because from my understanding, you had every opportunity to ask. If you haven't asked, well then, there's a lesson here for you to learn. Because when you don't submit your stuff, your work, your tasks, I suffer, the other teams suffer, the rest of the business suffer, but most importantly, the people that we serve suffer as well. But it all started with that one area. And everyone realizes that. That's why they take their work very, very, that's the best word, is seriously. Yeah, take it very seriously. Because yes, they don't want to disappoint me. I get it. As a leader, as a role model, they don't want to disappoint the role model. And I get that. But most importantly, they want to still grow themselves. And that's why I give them this opportunity to grow. If you can deliver and follow instructions, great, you're going to grow. But if you cannot follow instructions, or you don't understand why you need to do it, or why it's going to benefit you, then they don't grow. Because that's just what happens. That it's just because they don't have an understanding. So, I'm just saying this is my experience and how I actually effectively lead remote workers. And the other thing actually I do with them actually is the ones that are team leaders who work remotely, I meet with them every week because I just want to check in with them. How are they doing personally? How are they doing in terms of day-to-day things? And when I actually see them and I check in with them, they feel valued because they know I don't need to do that. But I do it because I also understand that if I actually look after them, they will then look after their own team. And when they look after their own team, then the output is always better. But that's why, from my understanding is, from my journey of having businesses, is this. I cannot do this without my team. I cannot do or even fulfill 1% of my mission without my team. And my team is the most critical part of actually reaching more people, of helping more people. And that's why I don't want to handcuff the remote workers just because they're in another country, just because they're at a different office. I don't want to handcuff them. I do give them some sort of freedom, but I ask them to be responsible for their results. Because whatever the result because they have to submit to me anyway at the end of the week. Whatever the result they give to me, that's that just determines what's happening in their inner world. Because the outer world is just a result. The inner world just tells me, okay, this is his result. Now I know what's happening in their life. If that's what's happening in their life, how can I help them? Because if I help them, guess what? Their outer world, their results will then improve anyway. Because I'm going to give you one extra tip here. If you have remote workers, although you do need to track their output, you need to track their results, mainly in terms of are they on time with their tasks, right? And is the standard where you want it to be? That's important. But the one main thing that I track the most is something called behavior. The reason why I track behavior is because if the behavior is good, the output is also good. But if the behavior is not good, because they need to fill out the forms. How honest were you this week, right? Did you go beyond what you could do this week? Did you go the extra mile, right? Were you joyful? Were you happy? Were you excited? Did you collaborate well with your team? All those things, they grade themselves out of 10. And then, of course, I look at it and say, okay, they thought they were an 8 out of 10 this week, but I didn't think it was. Then I ask them about it when I do the individual meeting with them. But because I track their behavior, I also know I'm tracking their honesty. So track behavior, regardless if they're remote or they're in an office. Because if you track it well, then what will happen is that you will always breed more positive behaviors, better behaviors, which will get better outcomes as well. So that's my advice how to lead remote workers, because essentially every worker, regardless if they're remote or in office, they need to value you. And they also need to see you as a role model. And they also need to see you as a leader. And because they see you as a leader, as a role model, they'll value you and they'll be with you no matter what. And they'll do whatever it takes to fulfill your mission because they know it benefits them too. So I hope that this video has actually helped you. And being live here with everyone, I want to appreciate every one of you for joining me. And if you have any questions, please do just put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you, because some of you may be thinking about, I'm starting a business and I want to have remote workers. Maybe I want remote workers from another country because it's less tax or the salaries are less, whatever it may be. Whoever you choose, by the way, this is the great thing about the internet. You just need to be the leader. You need to give them things that they value. And I know for all of my team leaders, they value growth. That's why I make sure they grow every week. So again, thank you so much for joining me today, whether it was on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you next week for a new month and also a new topic when we're looking at business and improving your coaching as well. So again, thank you for joining me this Friday, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.